about time.
And I'm back, finally. All flash, no substance. I'm back to do a top five. I haven't done top five in quite some time because I was watching TV and watching movies, and I got a really, really great idea. We see a lot of movies, especially a lot of the 80 movies, do a training montage. I've actually seen a bunch of movies do fight montages where it kind of shows a progression of somebody through getting through a bunch of old fights or a bunch of smaller fights before they get to the big bad. And I thought that was a great thing because there's been some really, really good ones that don't really get enough, let's say, love or acknowledgement, because everybody talks about the training montages, but never the fight montages. I think those are a lot better because it keeps the fight brief, action-packed, and we move on with the story. So I'm going to do today's top 5 fight montages. Now, a little bit of qualification for them. They can't include training. That's a different montage and another top 5 I'll probably do shortly. But also too, it has to be something where like it's fast paced. It can't be like super fast paced where it's just kind of like blip 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 and you don't really get to enjoy a little bit, but it's got to be move pretty fast. Preferably have some type of montage song or narration to kind of make you feel like you're moving with the story. Those are my only kind of caveats with this list. So we're gonna start with number 5, and number 5 is one that I've always loved, and some part is the kind of the best part of the movie for me, and it is the pit fighting montage from Conan. That thing is great because they don't show you any of Conan's training. They just show you that he's a badass. He goes in, and every time he wins, he gets more and more armor, becomes more and more brutal, more and more lethal, and he just runs through guys all through the pit fight scene before he actually moves on to the story. I thought that was a great part of Conan, and it actually sets you up for understanding who he is as a person as he goes about his life, what he came through just to get to that point in his life, and why he makes the decisions that he makes, and why he's such a brutal character on screen. Arnold, you're the best. All right, so that is gonna bring me to number 4. Number 4, I went with, and people are gonna hate me for this, X-Men Origins Wolverine, the battles through time with him with Wolverine and Sabretooth. Dude, not only does it shows his longevity of life and all the things that he's going through before he gets to present day, and like I said, just like with Conan, who he is as a person, but it shows you that he has been built for war his whole life. That's all he's ever seen. He's never seen nothing but battle. It doesn't even affect him anymore, and the things that he's seen and done throughout history, it shows you like, man, he's lived such a long life, but also is that he's seen everything. He's seen absolutely the good and the worst of mankind. All right, so that is going to bring me to number 3. And number 3, I kind of battled with this one on its position, but I felt comfortable leaving it at number 3, and that is the Spartan 300 when they fought the Persians with the Dark Army. The Dark Empire Army, I think is what it's called, because there's obviously battle scenes that they show up to that point, but it wasn't until they got to the montage of them doing the battle against the Dark Army when they go from like wizards to beast to giants. It just made the battle seem so long, like they're almost like the 300 battle. I want to say a war because that technically too consider it was more of the war, but it made that continuous battle scene like just like the overwhelming odds they had to deal with, not just them taking on a large Persian army in a small contained area, but now they got to take on all this mystical stuff too. So it was like it set the level so much higher for them to kind of persist and carry on with their mission. And it got really, really cool with the special effects and Zack Snyder being able to show all of that on screen. So it was a great montage, and to see how they won each time. All right, so that's gonna bring me to number 2. And number 2, this is the one I went back and forth with. I went the Bloodsport Day 2 montage, I think. Well, technically, the whole movie was a bunch of montages. There's only like a couple of single fights. The whole movie, so I can say the whole movie. The whole movie's a montage because they had to get through a couple of rounds before they got to the finale. So they had to montage all those fights, and they did such a great job because they gave you the most important parts of the fights, the finishes, the high action area aspects of the fight, and kind of really showing off different martial arts style, but not like kind of beating you over the head and dragging out a fight and stuff like that. If they're not that much important, it just kind of shows you how he goes through the ranks, and it moves on to face, obviously, if you haven't seen it, spoiler, Chong Li in the finale. But it's a great movie. It's got some of the best montages and some of the best music. I still chant kumite, kumite, kumite. It's every time the montage comes on. So it's great. All right. So that's gonna bring me to number one. Number one. And this one, there was no way I could not put this at number one because I believe this is the best fight montage in some of the worst karate ever. But it was the best montage. And that is after Daniel has his first fight in the Karate Kid. After he wins his first fight, and I can't remember his girlfriend's name, but she was like, "Oh my God, you're the best, Daniel!" And then they go into the song, "You're the best around," and he just goes beating people, and then you see Cobra Kai beating people, and it was like you get so hyped up in the moment. Dude, that is the best. The karate's shit. It is. It's absolute shit in that whole movie, but it was the best montage for the 80s, and I still say it holds its place. They can't relive that moment, even though they're trying to with Cobra Kai. They can't relive that moment, and I think that says so much to show an arc for a person who's kind of like a meek, kind of scared person entering this atmosphere that they had never been in, and then quickly adjusting and then showing the opposition that they're up against, or at least that he's up against, that he has to at one point meet. And as we go through the montage, he starts to beat them. He gets a little stronger, a little bit more confident. Dude, you feel it with the song behind it and the way that they cut that montage up. It's the best fight montage. Trust me, I know you guys are gonna talk about montages in general, and there's a bunch of training ones. I could do a whole Rocky one. It was like 8 movies, and they all seem to have a montage in it, so I could do a top 5 on that by itself. But for fighting, that is probably the best one I could think of. So that's gonna get me over to honorable mentions, and these honorable mentions just missed the top 5, and probably if I had not lived in the 80s, I probably would have put these in my top 5. But I went with the Captain America First Avenger one, when they're doing the Captain America song, and it's showing him doing a lot of the promotional stuff for Captain America, but also shows him fighting the Nazis, going into the different battles. That was such a great montage, and man, it was hard for me not to put that in my top 5 as much as I love Captain America. But that's a great Captain America montage, and it does kind of, if you weren't a big fan of the comic books, dude, that really tells you that montage tells you everything you need to know about Captain America. All right, other one, Watchmen. When the times are changing montage, when it kind of shows you the Watchmen as they go about their day of fighting crime and their history and things that happen to them. Dude, that's Zack Snyder again. He's great for these montages. If you need a good montage, an action montage, get Zack Snyder to do it. I don't know why he didn't do this with Justice League, but you know, either way. Other one I had the Fantastic Four one. I think that was a great montage. It just wasn't good enough to make my top 5. I think it was a great montage of them saving the day, because it got to skip all of that. We didn't have to see a whole bunch of kind of filler stuff just to show that how their powers work. That montage of them using their powers when they're supposed to go on that TV show, that was really, really great, and I really enjoyed that. I assume over time that thing's probably gonna move up more in my list of montages, but for right now, it just barely missed. And my last one for honorable mentions, dude, it's a cartoon, but I still love it, and it's the Hercules montage, the Zero to Hero. That's a great montage. That song is so stuck in my head, and when it comes on, yeah, I can't even think of it. I was just so stuck in my head that I can't remember the words. But it shows his progression becoming a hero, Zero to Hero. Yeah, that's all I'm gonna say about that one. I want to know what you guys think as far as your best fight montages in the comments below. Like I said, you can take some of what I got, some of what you got. I feel like I missed some other movies, but I was really trying to rack my brain over what ones that absolutely. I feel like there was a Blood and Bone one that might have been an issue, or something with Michael Jai White that I probably could have, but I could not remember the movie, so I couldn't look it up to refresh my mind. But put it in the comments below if you got any better ones. And also too, if this is the first time you're on the channel, make sure you subscribe as well as click the notification button so that way you're aware of all the other videos that we do on the channel. All right, I'm gonna try to get to do a couple of top fives. I got a couple more in mind that I'm gonna do. Like I said, probably gonna do the training one, but some other ones as well. All right, guys, you take care.